Hey, what's up? How you doing? It's 6:10 in the morning here in Western Iowa on Saturday, January 18th. Good morning. Cold front's barreling through. We're at 10 degrees. Wind chill in the negative numbers. Winds gusting to 30 miles an hour out of the north. It's not fit out for man nor beast. And that cold air is barreling south and east. We're going to see a really nice snowstorm. Really nice for the Delmarva into the northeast, the big cities of the northeast. And then we focus on our southern snow and ice storm. Kind of crazy, I know. Here's your snow depth this morning, and we still see some snow hanging in there, Kansas, Missouri, into Illinois, Indiana, and here in Iowa. Most of our snow's gone. We have snow in the shade now, but pretty good snowpack. Ohio and especially West Virginia and the eastern Great Lakes, really off of all the Great Lakes. Michigan covered with snow, but we've seen some snow melt for southern Wisconsin, southern Minnesota as well, and lots of snow in the mountains in the west with our smiley face in Idaho. Now, here's the snow we're expecting from now until noontime the 23rd. So this is the next 5 days of snow that we're expecting. So that doesn't count the snow that's already on the ground. So again, from the Delmarva, we're expecting another foot or more into West Virginia. And then you get into Virginia, Maryland, up into the big cities of Pennsylvania, even into New York. We're looking at a good 6-8 inches of snow here possibility. This is the GFS solution. When you look at the Euro, we're still looking at some good snows up there for the Delmarva. Now back to the GFS for the southern snow. We're talking Austin, San Antonio through Houston or just north of Houston into southern Louisiana and across southern Mississippi, right along the Gulf Coast, Mississippi, Alabama, and then moving up into lighter amounts as you get into South Carolina. Now the European is colder and has more snow down to the Gulf Coast. So Houston getting snow, according to the Euro, maybe even close to 6 inches. Crazy. New Orleans could see 3 to 4 here, and the Florida Panhandle snow on this map, and then all the way through North Carolina and South Carolina and North Carolina. Ice on the GFS from really south central Texas, like San Antonio, through Houston. Through Louisiana along the Gulf Coast, Biloxi, Mississippi, Panhandle of Florida, up into South Carolina. The Euro, not as much ice for Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, because the Euro is colder and has snow in those areas, but a pretty good ice storm, maybe Corpus Christi over to Houston, back towards maybe south of San Antonio, like Beeville, and then you get into the Florida Panhandle. This could be an ice storm near Jacksonville. That would be very bad. Now, our cold air pressing southward. This is the expected lows on the 21st for the GFS, and we have freezing temperatures all the way through the Gulf, as you would expect. And of course, from Portland to Portland. And if you go single digits and negative numbers, you're talking all the way down into West Virginia, even parts of North Carolina, up into the Midwest, Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin. Here in Iowa will be negative numbers mostly, and single digits getting all the way down into Kansas on this map. So that is the GFS. The Euro is even colder with single digits all the way down into Oklahoma on the morning of January 21st. So it's going to be cold either way. How cold is still a little up in the air, get it? But we shall see. It's going to be cold, and it looks like a southern snowstorm, and it looks like before that, tomorrow we're going to see quite a bit of snow up there in, say, Kentucky, West Virginia, Northern Virginia, getting into the big cities of the Northeast where we have winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, and winter storm watches in effect, Eastern Great Lakes winter storm watches. And this is crazy. Winter storm watch in effect for southeast Texas through southern Louisiana, including New Orleans, and southern Mississippi, including Biloxi. Winter storm watch. Wow. All right. We have some snow up there in the central Rockies, winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings for northeastern Mexico, and some snow up there in Idaho into Montana, some wind issues for you for New Mexico. Out there right now, it's cold. Like I said, 10 degrees here, and wind chills are like 5, 10 below. So it's cold, and it's going to get colder. And that cold air is pressing southward. We're now in the 20s in the Texas Panhandle, and the core of the cold air is not here for any of us yet, even though it is 2 below in Minot. Still warmer, the cold air is not yet into, say, the eastern Great Lakes or the Ohio Valley or the east, but it's coming. Here's your temperature change from yesterday at this time, and you see where the core of the cold still on the Canadian side, but upper Midwest, and it's coming southward and warming up ahead of the front for the southeast. Yeah, we're going to fix that over the next day or two. Surface this morning, cold air through Texas, but the coldest air still filtering in. That cold front pressing into the Midwest, Ohio Valley, with a mix of rain and snow, depending, freezing rain even possible here, and some thunderstorms down for the southeast, light snow for the Rockies. Tomorrow, here comes our big storm for West Virginia, Maryland, Washington, D.C., Virginia, and then up into the big cities of the Northeast as well. And so the big snows would be tomorrow, and then even, some thunderstorms lingering in Florida. But when we get into Inauguration Day, which we'll show you here in a second, things will be clearing out, but it's going to be windy and cold. They've moved the inauguration indoors, although honestly, I think it might be for security reasons, really, and using the cold as an excuse. But either way, here's your 48-hour precipitation, and it's going to be rain or snow depending on how far north or south you are on this map. Could be a lot of rain around Jacksonville, Florida, so approaching 2 inches. And then as you get, say, Kentucky, Virginia northward, it's going to come down as snow. So West Virginia, 10 inches or so. You get into Philadelphia through northern New Jersey, from New York City up to Albany, and even into New Hampshire, we're looking at a good 6, 8, even isolated 10 inches of snow. And Washington, D.C. here, a good solid 4 to 6. So that surface for Monday, again, the snow in the D.C. area clears out for the most part, but it's going to be windy and cold, and then our eyes turn to the south with a chance of ice down there in South Texas and heavy snow just north of Houston all the way into Louisiana. Craziness. So let's see how it looks on the GFS. Now remember, the European's colder, and so when we go through these maps and show you the southern snow that's coming, the European has it even further south. But here we go. Starting, I got to get to today. What is today? It's Saturday, right? So let's get to today. I got to the end of the run. I should probably just go this way. I should have set this up a little bit better. My apologies. All right, we got to, there we go. So this is this morning, and we're seeing a little bit of snow up here, Ohio into Pennsylvania, rain south of that, even thunderstorms in the southeast. And as we go through the day, it's going to be, again, rain south of West Virginia into the southeast, snow north of that, mainly on the light side. And you see a little bit of snow moving through the eastern slopes of the Rockies as that cold air presses south and east. And this is getting us close to tomorrow. This is midnight tonight. And as we get into the day Sunday morning, we're starting to see our low, and we're starting to see our snow. Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, moving into Ohio. And this is going to intensify as we get into noon Sunday. Heavy snow coming down Maryland, Northern Virginia, into Pennsylvania, Washington, D.C. And then that low moves along the coast, so bringing that heavy snow to the big cities as we go through the day tomorrow into tomorrow night. Heavy snow in New York City up to Albany, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and even up into Maine. And then it leaves, and then we see lots of wind, that Arctic air spilling across the Great Lakes, which are not frozen yet. So those snow jets are going to really start cranking especially as we get into Monday, as this storm exits. And then our eyes turn to the south as we get into Monday. And we start to see some snow and freezing rain forming in Texas as we get in. This is midnight Monday, Tuesday morning. Snow and ice, Texas into Louisiana. And again, the Europeans further south on this solution. Dallas, you're going to miss out. You're just going to be cold. The moisture is too far south. So, again, freezing rain, Louisiana, snow on the north side, European with a further south solution. So depending on how it goes, we could see more snow on the actual coast. And as we get into Tuesday night into Wednesday, the system continues to move east. GFS has rain for Jacksonville. So that probably would be good news because the European has ice and snow over Jacksonville. And then that is all done by the time we get into Wednesday. I'm going to go quicker now. We see a little bit of light snow. There's another surge of cold air coming down. So that's the end of the week. And then it's going to warm up a little bit right here in the plains and into the Midwest as we get into Saturday, the 25th. If this comes true, we got to warm up before another dump of cold air, maybe some ice and snow and thunderstorms for the southeast. But that next surge of cold air coming straight south on the 27th, maybe some some snow for the Midwest Ohio Valley. Again, we're in the land of uncertainty here, but could see more snow for New England. But I just wanted to show you another dump of cold air as we get to the end of the month and into February. Maybe some snow across the Ohio Valley into the Northeast as we get into the 29th and 30th. As I said yesterday, the 30th is my birthday. The GFS was showing a huge snowstorm for me here in Iowa, and now it's gone. So this is why we look for model consistency on these runs. All right, here we go. 6-10 day outlook. Cold. Nobody's above average here. Everyone's either a good chance of average or below average. 8-14, Florida warming up a little bit, but just widespread cold across the country. And then the 6-10 day precipitation, especially northeast into the mid-Atlantic, even up towards the northeast and northern plains into the Rockies. And 8-14, even more of the country with a good chance of above average precipitation. So more active as we're getting towards the last week of January. We'll call it the last 2 weeks of January. Looks cold and snowy and rainy and winter, basically. So again, things are coming into focus for tomorrow's snow up there in Washington, D.C. and the Northeast, and then for the southern snow, pretty good agreement it's going to happen. Exactly where that ice and snow is going to be, the devil's in the details, but really starting to coming into focus with a lot of certainty there. So we'll keep you posted as we go. Really appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in, The Weather Mike. Have a great weekend.